This is the Clear Money Talk podcast, offering up creative solutions for your retirement future through education, choice, transparency, and empathy. Now, your host, CEO and founder of Clear Financial Partners, Tim Claremont.
Hello, and welcome to Clear Money Talk. I am your host, Tim Claremont, CEO and founder of Clear Financial Partners, and as always, we have our co-host here, Mr. Tyler Andrews.
Thanks, Tim. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Tim and I, it's maybe been a week or two since we've done this.
Yeah, it's been a bit. We you probably don't sense that because the shows drop on a regular basis. But we'll go through binges where we're recording a little bit more, and then we'll go through hiatuses or longer gaps. And we've had a little bit longer gap lately, so we're glad to be back at it recording today. And I really enjoyed the last time we did this, where I had no idea what the question was, no idea what the topic was, and that's what's happened today. So similarly. You're getting just fresh question off the top of Tim's head with whatever this question is that you already know the answer. Actually, you know this before I do right now.
That's true.
You read what the topic of the podcast is. So let's find out. What are we answering today, Tyler?
Okay. Is Social Security still relevant for high net worth individuals?
Oh, that's a good one.
We talked about this recently.
Yeah, we did. Is Social Security still relevant for high net worth individuals?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe the listeners are like, well, why wouldn't it be relevant, Tim, Tyler? It's, if you work, you pay into the system for so long, why wouldn't it be relevant for somebody that's high net worth?
Sure.
And I think the best answer for that is Social Security is not supposed to replace your entire income. And there's limits on how much you can potentially get out of the Social Security system. It's a function of how much you earned during your working years and how much you paid into the system all those years. So somebody that is potentially higher net worth or higher income, the Social Security is going to be usually a smaller percentage of their overall income in retirement than somebody, let's say, that is living on $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year. That Social Security payment for those individuals is going to be much more significant for them in their retirement experience than somebody maybe who is a higher income earner in retirement, where they're earning $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or even more. It'll be a much smaller component to their overall income streams. They might have many different income streams in retirement, where that other individual we were talking about only has one or two income streams, or maybe Social Security is their only income stream in retirement. So, that's where the question becomes, okay, is Social Security really still important for those high income earners and those high net worth individuals in retirement? And it's a question that doesn't have a one-stop shop answer, I feel like. You probably get asked this a lot.
Well, not exactly like this. I mean, frankly, it's funny. My brain's going down a whole nother route with this question because I can see exactly where this kind of question could originate. And, you have the question first of, is Social Security relevant to high income earners or high net worth individuals? Of course, if they make $300,000 a year, for example, and their Social Security benefits are $60,000 a year, it represents 20% of their income. Therefore, 80% of their income is coming in a way that, the majority is not Social Security. So it's clearly less significant. But the question is it relevant? And frankly, relevant, every $1,000 a month matters. And even if you make $1 million a year of an income stream and you have $60,000 a year coming in from your Social Security, that's $5,000 a month. And you've paid for it your entire life. I mean, you've been paying into the Social Security system, whether you paid through self-employment tax as a sole proprietor, which is basic Social Security tax, the employee and the employer side of it, and or you've paid for it as an employee, out of your Social Security wages tax. Either way, you've been paying for a long time. I think where this question comes from is actually leading people down this path, addressing some of the political banter that I've actually heard out there in the last couple of years, which really, really bugs the crud out of me. And so I'm just going to share this really frustrates me. And one of the things that I think about out there is there are people that would like to say Social Security was paid for to pay for people that were impoverished, and if you don't have enough money, then we need to take care of these people so that they're not on the streets. They have some subsistence level of income, and there's some truth to that, and I get that. From a Social Security standpoint, that's what Social Security was ultimately created for. It was created to make sure that people weren't completely broke when they went to retire. There would be something there that would take care of their needs, and because Social Security, as the entitlement programs in general, Social Security and Medicare are underfunded, which we all are aware of, we know there's changes coming. One of the changes that a lot of people politically are trying to push is, well, how about we just get rid of the Social Security for the rich people? because they don't need it. So if they have $400,000 a year, how about they just give up their Social Security, and then we'll give the Social Security to the people who don't have the money. And frankly, that's what upsets me, because those people have paid into Social Security their whole lives. They have built up this reasonable amount that they should expect to get back in return. It's 6.2% that you pay as for Social Security as an employee, and another 6.2% you pay as an employer. That's 12.4%. You've been giving up 12.4% of your income every single year. Why? You're giving it up so that you can get back that Social Security income stream later. It's not like an additional tax on top of regular federal and state income taxes. I mean, you get something out of these things. If you're not going to get the Social Security income later on, why are you paying into it during all of these working years so that it can take care of people who didn't do a good job of saving up money for themselves and that are living only on Social Security? Like, that doesn't seem fair. Not to me anyway. So it's a fun topic, and I get it. And you're getting me in an opinionated scenario, and in a scenario where most of the time I don't get very opinionated, but this is one that just bugs me. I just had this conversation recently too. When I started in the business at 21 years old, I wanted to help teachers and firefighters and police officers because I felt like the rich people had financial advisors already, and all these other people didn't have financial advisors, and I needed to help them and serve them, and I loved that. And I still to this day love teachers and firefighters and police officers. And I take great care of them. But I didn't really know people with money when I was 21, when I was raised. I was raised middle class America. I mean, I was just, public school. I wasn't raised around money. And because I didn't know people with money, I fell into this general belief system that I believe is out there, in our country and in Portland here particularly, that rich people are somehow, shady, that there's something wrong with this, with how they made their money. And I didn't even know that I was feeling those feelings at 21. And then I met people who have money. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are some of the most kind, generous, amazing people that have done so much for the world. And I was so impressed, and and they needed help. And I knew all the stuff that I could do to help them. And frankly, I believe that most of the billionaires that you see out there have accomplished so much for society by providing something that we all value. And that's how they got the money that they got. And so I look at people with wealth differently now, and that's been for a long time. But it bothers me that sentiment is still out there, that there's this hate the rich sentiment that I believe is coming from a place of ignorance. And if you disagree with that and that turns you off from this podcast, I totally respect that. You have your right to your belief set, and I totally get it. But I'm sorry. It's clear money talk, so I got to be clear about the way I talk about my money.
I like it. And I think this is very much, you said you almost felt bad for sharing your opinion on this podcast about Social Security. I don't feel like that's a bad thing. I feel like Social Security in general is a very opinionated program. People love it. People hate it. There's people in between. There's people that just say, I don't really understand it, but they send me a check every month, so it is what it is. But I think there's a lot of nuts and bolts and nuances to the program to understand, which is why, I wanted us to talk about it a little bit today. And I like where you were going about it, that I think for the high net worth individuals specifically, which is what we created this topic about today, is that it's about the legislation and maybe where the program's going for these higher net worth individuals, because you don't want to be somebody that paid into it for 30, 40 years. And if you're a high income earner, if you're a high net worth individual now, you're probably a high income earner during your working years, which means you were probably paying the maximum into the programs. I think the cap for 2023 was like $160,000 of your taxable income was included for FICA. So you paid 6.2% as an employee on that first $160,000 of income. If you did that for your entire working career, you paid a lot of money into the system. You should get something out of it. But with the Social Security reserves running lower and lower every year, and they're estimating that the program is supposed to run out of money in 2034, what does that mean? And that comes with a lot of opinions about what changes they might implement. Because I think we can all agree that as of right now, the way the program exists, there's probably going to be some changes at some point. And we just don't know if that's going to be tomorrow, next year, in a decade, or if they're going to wait until the last minute where they have to make a decision and then do it then. So, all these things are worth considering, especially if you paid so much money into it for so long. So, you want a cool stat?
Yeah. What do you got? Yeah, of course I do. Of course we do, Tyler. Tell us a cool stat.
What if you said no? You're like, no, I'm okay.
No, never mind. I don't want to know a cool stat. No, yes, I want to know a cool stat. What do you got?
So when Social Security was first rolled out, there was 160 workers for every one person that was drawing on Social Security, drawing their benefits. So there was 160 people earning money and then having a portion of that money taxed to then supplement and help pay for that one person that was drawing Social Security benefits in retirement.
Wow.
Nowadays,
wait. So literally like 160 workers were out there paying Social Security taxes to support one person's Social Security check.
That's right.
That's obviously there's plenty of money around to help that one person in that scenario.
That's right.
Yeah, please lay out more. What do you got?
What do you think the ratio is today?
I don't know. What is it today?
2.18 workers.
Oh my
For every
gosh.
one person drawing Social Security benefits.
So
I don't know how you get a 0.8 person, but we'll just.
Well, and if you
three
assume
people.
the average 2.18, if you assume the average income, let's say, is around $80,000 as an example, I'm not saying that's an average. You might be below that or above that or whatever. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But $80,000, and you're talking about 6.2, employee, 6.2 employer. That's 12.4%. 12.4% on 80,000 is about 10K. So about $10,000 for that. Plus, if only two workers are supporting that, that's $20,000 bucks. I mean, that's only $20,000 a year. Most Social Security benefits that I've seen have been more than $20,000 a year for a lot of employees. So that's
that's
clearly
where
there's trouble.
That's where the system's running into issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a $40 billion deficit in 2023. We don't have the numbers yet for 2024 because the year's not over yet. But anyways, this isn't meant to scare people.
No.
This is just
that's
meant
not
to
the
share the
point.
facts of where this stuff's coming from and potentially, how they might try to solve this issue as time goes on. So
It's a hot topic. It's polarizing one too. Yeah, actually, there's another. Do you want to hear a statistic, Tom?
I would love to.
I got a statistic for you. All right,
to.
let's go. Here we go. So there were studies done. There was some energy that was put into trying to solve this Social Security dilemma by previous administrations. And one of the previous calculations that I recall, this was during the Bush administration, is they were looking at privatization of Social Security. And I'm not saying that, look, whether you're pro or anti-privatization, I'm not going there right now. It's like it is what it is. That's another polarizing topic. But my point was they calculated the math. The amount of money that you pay into all of your Social Security taxes throughout your entire lifetime, if that money were invested, and that money were invested and then turned into an income stream that was equal to what you get from Social Security, what kind of rate of return do you think that investment portfolio earned in order to generate the income stream that you get, that you're entitled to from Social Security? And that rate of return, do you want to guess? They did the calculation. I remember it. It stuck in my head. I was like, holy cow.
I mean, I'm sure it's surprising, so it's got to be low. I'm going to guess 1.2% annually.
That's pretty. It was 2%.
2%.
2%. So can you imagine? You could take your Social Security taxes, stick them in a CD at 4% your entire life, and
double
have
it.
twice as much income in Social Security as what Social Security is giving you. So when you asked me the question if is Social Security relevant to people who have more income, and I know that question is probably coming from a sentiment of, hey, well, let's just take it away from people who don't need it because they already have all this other income. I'm sitting there thinking, they've already invested in one of the most conservative, low rate of return investments their entire life, Social Security, paying out 2% as far as the average annual rate of return equivalent. And now we're going to say they get a 0% rate of return on that. They're not even a 0% because they don't get their money back. 0% means you still get your money back.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. They get a negative 100% rate of return.
Yeah.
So we're not going to give them anything for all of that money that they paid in for all of those years. That just makes me sick. So
that does.
Anyway, fundamentally, is it relevant? Yeah. Let's give them just the answer. So So just the answer.
Okay, so topic today, is Social Security still relevant for high net worth individuals? I mean, I think just the answer is yes.
Yeah,
it is.
That's a yes.
It's applicable for anybody. If you've paid in through FICA taxes at any point and you're eligible for Social Security benefits, whether that's at age 62, full retirement age, or 70, which those are the three main ages that people typically consider drawing, then yes, it's relevant for you, and you should look at maximizing those benefits, whether that's going to be a large portion of your income in retirement or a very small portion of your income in retirement, because you have other sources to rely on too for making up the difference. So yes, it's relevant for you guys. Now, how to maximize it? That's going to be unique to everyone's situation. If you're married, if you're single, what your other income sources look like. Are you still working? Are you retired officially? Longevity in your family, your genes, all that stuff ties into these answers, which is why you should reach out to somebody that's accredited or that knows this stuff. We do that stuff all the time, so you should give us a phone call.
You should probably talk to some smart people.
Yeah.
Who knows something smart about money.
Yeah, so it's unfortunately it's a program that does have a lot of nuances involved. And then getting in touch with somebody at the Social Security Administration can be often difficult or challenging. So if you can lead into relationships of people that that have more knowledge on this stuff than you, try to do that and just try to get the most out of the program that you can. So just the answer is yes, it's relevant to you.
Yep, I agree. I appreciate the just answer on that. And did you earn a designation or something recently on
did.
Social Security? Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah. Okay.
What was that, Tyler?
So it bugged me how many people Social Security is applicable for, probably most of the people in this country, and how little information or there's too much information that's too polarizing and too difficult to comprehend and understand, and then all the different situations that you can run into on how it affects Social Security benefits, whether you're single, divorced, widowed, married, are you this old? It's too much, and if it's applicable to everybody across the country, it should be very simple to understand, and there should be a lot of resources out there for it. So there's this designation, it's called the National Social Security Advisor accreditation. It was like a 2-day course. I took it recently, and I learned so much about the program, and I just want to share that information with people because, like we talked about, if you paid into it for so long, you should get the most out of it that you can. So to get the most out of it that you can, you should reach out to us. We can help you analyze it, figure that out, and it's something I just want to share with everybody because, knowledge is knowledge, and it's meant to be shared.
No,
right?
it's cool. We're such nerds here. We love learning more
we
stuff, and it's okay. We're into it, and it's not just the 2 days of experience, obviously, that you had in terms of the training and that. There's so much knowledge that you had with the years of experience before that, getting to this point, and then adding that additional detailed specialization of additional, all of those intricate aspects associated with Social Security to your skill set and your knowledge base is, well done. So,
thanks, Tim.
I appreciate it. Okay, so we did the Just the Answer. We did the Social Security. If you just listen to the Just the Answer, and you should really listen to the whole thing because I kind of went off for a while on some opinions that I don't normally do in a Clear Money Talk episode. So this is probably a good one for you to listen to the full one.
See you in rare form, man.
You just hit a sore spot. And so I do have them occasionally. You can evoke it from me. So
it's good.
All right.
I like it.
Where are we going here?
We're going to trivia.
We're going to trivia.
We're going to trivia.
What do you got? What do you got for us today?
All right, Tim. Trivia question. What TV series holds the record for the most Emmy Awards won by a single series?
Price is Right.
Bum, bum,
No,
bum.
I'm kidding.
Do you think
no?
That would be awesome.
Most Emmy Awards.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some choices.
I think I could use some choices on this.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering about those long-running soap operas that are I could see some of those where they
that won the most Emmy Awards.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. Here are your choices: The Simpsons,
Okay,
Friends, Game of Thrones, and Breaking Bad.
Oh. Well, between those 4 choices, I feel like one stands down, or it seems to be obvious to me that I would choose. But I feel like maybe is that are you misleading me? Is it something else? Okay. Huh? I don't think it was Breaking Bad, even though Breaking Bad was really, really, really good. It was. Phenomenal series, excellent series. I just don't feel like that was the case. What was the third one? Not Simpsons and not Friends. The other one.
Game of Thrones.
I don't think it was Game of Thrones, even though, again, Game of Thrones is really, really good, but maybe it was, but I don't think so. My gut says Friends. I feel like Friends would probably be the winner on that, but I could also see Simpsons kind of coming out of left field. It's been around for a long time in sort of a weird way. I'm just going to go with Friends.
Oh, man, I wish you would have went with Game of Thrones.
Was it Game of Thrones?
It was Game of Thrones.
Oh my goodness! Well, that's all right. Those are some really good choices. Game of Thrones is really good.
I still haven't watched it.
I know.
I'm saving it for a rainy day, or maybe a couple rainy days.
Yeah, it's gonna probably take not too long. You're gonna binge through that. Yeah. That's a good
show. We're watching Lost right now.
I know.
So
I know.
That's a good time.
It has been good. Where are you at?
We are still cruising through season 1.
We're in season 1 too.
Okay.
What episode are you on?
We're probably on 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're getting there.
Crystal and I think are at 11 or 12 still. So.
All right. No. Yeah. They're usually ahead of us.
Not too far behind.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Good for them.
You'll catch up to us, I'm sure.
We will. All right. So moral of the podcast is reach out to us. That's the
how do they do that?
Give us a call,
Tyler.
Yeah, they call us 503-579-1000. Check out our website, it's www.clearfp.com, and help us reach the our milestone goal, which is teach 1 billion people something smart about money. So if we taught you something smart about money today, or ever in the past, please get counted. And Tim, maybe you want to share some more details on that, how they get counted?
Yeah. Go to somethingsmartaboutmoney.com. That's our website. So we have multiple websites, right? I know it can seem complicated. Frankly, this is probably not a very good business sense. They argue that a good podcast should probably have one call to action. We should just tell you one thing to do. And if there was one thing you needed to do, you should probably call us at 503-579-1000. However, if you're a research person and you just want to kind of check out a bunch of cool stuff that we have out there, then you could check out our website, which for our retail prospective clients is clearfp.com. So CLEAR, F as in Frank, P as in Peter.com for Clear Financial Partners. However, if you don't know if you really want to work with us or anything like that, but you just want to at least acknowledge the fact that you learned something smart about money from us, we would love you to go to somethingsmartaboutmoney.com just to get counted, because I'm trying to teach 1 billion people something smart about money before I die. And it's going to take me a long time if I keep picking up just 1 or 2 at a time, but I need to get you counted. So I know you learned something smart about money today because you're still listening to the podcast. And if you haven't gone to somethingsmartaboutmoney.com and gotten counted yet, please do that as a favor to me.
That'd be cool.
And yeah, that's the gist of how you can get a hold of us. And we've got a couple books out there too if you want to learn stuff.
Yeah, you
but
do.
whatever. We always
cool.
love teaching, and I hope you're enjoying learning today.
Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks for being with us on Clear Money Talk.
Investment advisory services are offered through Clear FP Advisors, LLC, or Registered Investment Advisor. Securities are offered through Clear FP Securities, LLC, member of FINRA IPC. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments may fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Timothy Claremont is licensed in your state, please contact his office. Clear FP Advisors, Clear FP Securities, and Clear FP Life LLC are not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide tax and/or legal advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Clear FP, LLC NPN number 194283777 and/or Clear FP Securities NPN number 197499604. Any discussion of general investing strategies or specific securities are for conversational purposes only and should not be taken as a guaranteed endorsement or recommendation.